Good morning. The time is 7:37 a.m. We will now call this public meeting of the Board of Trustees of Humble Independent School District to order. Questions and comments by patrons or employees of the district regarding agenda items or any other matters? No one has signed up to speak. We're now ready for our presentation. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Lee, and I'm the Senior Director of Personalized Student Success. I'm excited to talk with you guys today. I'm sorry, I wish I had a podium, but I'm going to do my best here with this. We're here to talk to you today about some of the initiatives we've been doing with the formation of our district in 2020, where we brought together our Advanced Learning and Services, our CTE department, and our counseling department, which is unique. A lot of districts don't put the counseling department in with this. So we're going to talk quite a bit about what we do together and how we're personalizing education for each individual in our school. And we also have several guest speakers who are the ones that are in our campuses with our students doing this day to day, because we want you to hear from them on the impact it's having on them and their jobs and with our students. So I'm going to introduce my team here real quick. This is Larkin Leswer. He is our CTE director. Dr. Tong Udakrit is our director of Advanced Learning and Services, and you're going to get a chance to hear from them as well. Ty Hobbs is our director of Personalized Counseling. Unfortunately, she's out sick today, so she sends her regards and is sorry that she couldn't be here, but we're going to speak to some of what she's working on as well. We wanted to kind of break it down for you in different bands, because what we do is a little different with each of our age group with our kids. We really want our kids that are in K2 to know themselves, know what they're good at, know what they like, not what somebody tells them they like, what they don't like. That's all things we want them to do. As they kind of progress into 3 through 5, we want them to be able to articulate that. We want them talking a little bit more about setting their own goals, what they want to accomplish. And then as we even move into 6th and 8th grade, we start really working now on what do the courses look like that we offer in Humble ISD to meet those goals. So that's how you're going to kind of hear us progress through the conversation today. I have 2 of our rock star counselors here from Atascocita Springs. They're going to talk a little bit about what they do, because one of the main components of this is we want kids to feel this culture and this change, and they have absolutely rocked that at Atascocita Springs. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Thank you. Hi, good morning. I am Chanel Thompson, and I am one of the counselors at ASC.
I am Denise Toro, and I'm one of the other counselors at ASC.
Okay, great.
And we're so happy to be here this morning to talk to you all about the program that we've worked really hard at developing at ASC.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our Time for Careers program. It started as Future Friday, and then it turned into Think About Your Career Thursday, and now it's Time for Careers. So we try to make a catchy theme based on when we can actually present it to our kids in the school. So what we did is, in elementary, the big thing with careers is exposing them to as many opportunities that are out there. And what we did is we connected them with the 4 endorsements of high school endorsements. So STEM, business and industry, arts and humanities, and public service. We know there's multiple disciplinary, but it kind of ties in. So every 9 weeks, the students are introduced to 3 careers that relate to a specific endorsement. We try to choose a career that requires a college degree, whether it's a bachelor's or master's, an associate's degree, and a high school certificate. So that way they know that there are different pathways to success. And we choose the careers based off of looking at those CTEs, what we have in Humble ISD, and pulling from what we get from our 101s. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like, man, we have a bunch of them that said that they want to be a veterinarian. Let's pull that. But we also expose them to things that they didn't even know were out there. So they get, every 9 weeks, 7 videos. The first video always introduces them to what that industry is all about. And then each career has 2 videos. The first one is Ms. Toro and I introducing and talking about different facts about the careers, and she'll talk a little bit about that. And the second one is actually either an interview with someone in that industry or in the field, or a video of someone talking about what is a day in the life of this career, what does it look like. Okay? Oh, go ahead, the second one.
So this is how we lay out the Time for Careers, and you can see how Ms. Thompson talked about those different endorsements. So, and every year we've kept track of all the different careers. This is our 3rd year of doing this program, so we're keeping track, and every year we're wanting to bring different careers for the students so that they're learning about all the different opportunities, because it's important that they're exposed to this vocabulary. I used to be a high school counselor. I worked at Atascocita High School, and so when I was a high school counselor, it's hard for them to make those decisions. And so we really wanted them to be exposed to this vocabulary consistently so that they would be able to make those decisions when they do get into high school. And so you can see all of our endorsements here that we're doing. And then we try to also match those endorsements with the grade 8 skill that we're working on that 9 weeks. So it will change from cycle to cycle, and we go through 2 cycles. And so we also started a Don't You Want to Know program at ASE, where it's a quarterly program where we're bringing in our community or the Atascocita High School representatives for specific programs that are related to that endorsement that we're working on that 9 weeks. So this 9 weeks, we are in the business and industry endorsement, and we are going to be having Atascocita High School, and our kids really want to know about video game design, so we're having them come out. Atascocita High School has a video game class, so we're going to have them come out for Don't You Want to Know, and it's going to be offered for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, so that they can talk to students in the library before they go to class. And so we're really excited about that program. And we can talk about that a little bit.
Good morning, ASC. Miss Toro, what time is it?
Time for careers. Let's take a look at what we have here.
Public service, STEM, arts and humanities, business, industry, so many possibilities.
Time for careers. Let's take a look at what we have here.
Listen and make a plan so we can take a stand and be ready when it's time.
Time for careers.
Good morning, Panthers. We've gone from Future Friday to Thinking Towards Your Future Thursday, and now we're in Time for Careers.
Because every day is time for careers.
That's right. So let's take a dive into our first career this year.
It's about 5 minutes.
That's what we discussed.
Yes. It's about 5 minutes, and we always have a rap song that we put together. Yes, for everything. We have every part of our program. We have a rap song, and we always tie in, like, you know, what's going on. So every career we touch on, the endorsement is connected to. We talk about what grade 8 skill would be good for them if they have this grade 8 skill. You would need this. We talk about the education opportunities in Humboldt ISD, like what opportunities do we have? Because sometimes we do have relationships with community and other organizations. And then things like, how much will you make a year? What does this look like? What classes do you need to take in middle school, high school, and even college? Because those are things that they need to think about. Not only, oh, I love to do this, but what is my life going to look like if I'm in this career? And then, what's the next one?
Yeah. You want to add anything else?
Yes, one more.
I have one thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there is one more slide. That's right. I forgot that one.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
And so our last one is we do the gamification. So this year, last year, I was like, hey, why don't we do Kahoot for Careers? And at the end of the 9 weeks, we test the kids on the knowledge that they've learned by watching all of the videos. So every 9 weeks, we do a campus-wide Kahoot game, and classes will come in as classes, or they will come in as a group of students or individuals, and they will be asked 10 questions, and we have a little video. It's all live, and we play across the campus Kahoot for Career. We've had so many that Kahoot emailed us and said we have to up our we have to upgrade our subscription because we've had so many students participating. They were screaming in the hallways, like it was competition, especially in 5th grade. And so it's a lot of fun for us. It's so much fun. It's like 15 minutes. It's the highlight at the end of the 9 weeks. And all the students, they get prizes like popcorn, popsicles, or extra recess. And so whoever wins, we did have last year one kindergarten class win. They got popsicles and they participated as a class. So that's always a great highlight at the end of the 9 weeks. And then this is our connection that we're making with Atascocita High School and then our community, and our first one was the ROTC program. We wanted to highlight, and even in our career program, Time for Careers, we do highlight the military throughout the year. And so this was one opportunity. We had about 50 to 60 students sign up. We left it open for 75 because we weren't sure how many students would attend. So we've been ranging around 50 to 60 students in the morning. They come in at 7:30 and they come straight to the library, and we have our presenter there. And we had someone from the community for animals, and then we're going to do video game design, and then we're going to have the orchestra come out for conducting. And yes, for arts and humanities. So it's a great program. We really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So one of the things I want to say before they leave real quick, that they're downplaying partially this because they're so humble. I can't say humble because we're in humble. But what I love that they do is this is all a part of the culture of every classroom. So they do the videos, the teachers are embedding activities in the classroom about it. They're bringing in real life connection with community, with Atascocita High School, making that connection to their feeder pattern, bringing kids back, because really the kids love to hear from the kids more than the adults. And they bring, like you're seeing in front of you, hands-on things from the high school to show the kids what this looks like. So I really love that this is so valid for the kids and authentic, and really getting to see and hands-on experience what those careers could be in their future. So thank you guys for sharing that. Appreciate it. I'm going to let Dr. Udicrit introduce our 3-5. Like we said, we've been really trying to change some of the things in the classrooms to be more personalized for kids. It's great to do some things school-wide as well, but at the end of the day, we want every kid in the classroom to be driving their education and their goals as well, even at elementary. So he's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yep. So when you think about the K-12 experience, we talked about in those early years, that early exposure. But now when we get to that upper elementary, we really want to start thinking through, okay, what does this mean to that individual child, right? Because they've got to figure out, of all these things I've been exposed to, I've got some things that I'm naturally interested in. I've got some things that I'm naturally good at. But how do I capitalize on that? How do we set up structures to do that? And so what we do is we've got a couple of teachers here that have started working with individual personalized goals for those 3 through 5 students, and then looking at how do we expand that and inform our classroom teachers to design their lessons based around these students' strengths, interests, and goals. So I want to introduce our 2 amazing teachers from Maplebrook. It's Heidi Gifford and Nadine Aragon, to talk a little bit more about what they're doing in their classrooms.
Thank you. All right, good morning. So again, I'm Heidi Gifford. I am the gifted and talented teacher at Maplebrook Elementary, and then Nadine Aragon is one of our 3rd grade teachers. Our students set personalized goals, but they're based on their strengths and interests. So they choose them. This particular group of students were learning about the order of operations in 5th grade. Their teacher taught them about PEMDAS, so you might remember learning about please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. They came to my class a little distraught because she did not explain what the E meant. So there's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, but her teacher did not explain exponents. So they came and we discussed what it meant. Their teacher even gave them an example, but they were disappointed when they realized that they would not be exploring problem solving with exponents until middle school. So I created a learning plan for them and used a depth and complexity strategy that you see here to dive deeper into the order of operations. And then here's a little bit of feedback from one of our passionate mathematicians.
Another thing is I like how she makes everyone think. Like last week, we did a PEMDAS problem, and we had to go in more depth into it. You don't follow the rule because it's a rule. You have to ask why. Why is it a rule, right? She made us think that, and she made us turn it into a word problem, and I'm still trying to figure that out. That was last Wednesday. It's Thursday.
As you cannot turn these students down. So they came hungry. They came hungry wanting to learn more, and that's what I gave them. I just let them, is what I did.
So as Ms. Gifford was saying, the students set personalized learning goals. And so this is an example of a 3rd grade student setting his goal. And so she asks a series of questions, and so they answer the questions to help them determine what their goal is. Go ahead and play.
I would choose math because I know everything about math, and I love doing math and science because I like science because you can find out about more microbes, something such as pneumonia, ultramicroscopic silica, volcano, coniosis, and all other kinds of stuff. And I like math because I know everything about math. And I have a question for you. What's 11 times 11 times 5 divided by 3 plus 85? Bye.
So one of the things that he wanted to learn about was solving unknown variables. And so we took that goal and we included it into his regular classroom. And so I would work with him in small group. Ms. Gifford worked with him as well. And then he had independent time. And so through that process, we worked on him solving for unknown variables. And then his work with Ms. Gifford that we brought into the classroom. And this is an example of that work. And so he had to take a problem and then he had to make a word problem for it. And as you can see, he had to think, had to do a little bit of thinking and processing there to get that done. We've kind of taken the same idea and we've embedded that into my classroom with all of our students. And so they've set some goals and then they have some things that they're working on. So we've carried that through, not just to, a few kiddos, but the whole class.
And so one of the things that we're also seeing with this personalized goal setting at that level is we're working with some of our kids on other campuses for them to actually lead their parent conferences and their counselor conferences where they come in with their goal sheet and they're leading the conference with their parents, say, this is my goal and these are the steps that I want to take in order to improve in that goal. So we're starting to see yield on that already this year by instituting that on some of our campuses.
Thank you, guys. Is that all for this one? I'm trying to remember. Okay. I love what they have done because the two of them, it started with a couple kids and it expanded to the whole class and then it expanded to the whole grade level. And it's one of those things when we get more and more exposure and we see how the kids are driving the conversation, it really is what's best for kids in that. I want to highlight a couple of our middle school people here as well. I have Melissa Rickley here and Amy Jolly, and I'm going to turn it over to Larkin to talk a little bit about the CTE wheel, which you guys are aware of to some degree, but how that is personalizing education as well.
Thank you. So I know some of you are very familiar with what we've done with the CTE wheel. I wanted to just give you the quick Reader's Digest version again of how that kind of came about. We are very, very grateful in Humble ISD to have wonderful CTE programs. And for years in the department, but also from our students, we have heard, how do I find out about all of the things that are available? How do I sort it into categories and know what I want to do so that I'm not a junior in high school before I figure that out, so that I can take it earlier and earlier? And so in Dr. Fagan's Student Advisory Committee, we had lots of feedback from students of, I wish we could just explore everything while we were in middle school. So we were put to task on how do we give them everything while they're in middle school, while giving it in short, digestible, amounts of content, but still making it engaging, making it an enjoyable experience where the kids are having fun and getting a great experience. So the result of that is the CTE Exploration Wheel that we're in year 2 of, and we're still growing and developing. We started with 8 teachers. We're at 12. I fully expect some more this next year, which I'm excited about. And then even in the way that we present the content to the students and being able to make a deep connection with the teacher, but still giving them everything as they go through being able to experience the various things. So with that, I wanted to just kind of turn it over and give you kind of a more authentic perspective of what's going on in that classroom. So I wanted to introduce Miss Melissa Rickley. She's been with us from the beginning. She won't tell you, but she's one of our kind of teacher leaders as well. She's really helped bring on some of the new teachers with us and kind of collaborated on what goes on in the various campuses across the district, because this is a district-wide program. So with that, I'll turn it over to Melissa.
Thank you. Good morning. Walt Disney once said, "People often ask me if I know the secret of success, and if I could tell others how to make their dreams come true." His answer was, "You do it by working." So how do we merge that concept with inspiring future possibilities for kids? We start with the CTE wheel. At every Humble ISD middle school district-wide, 6th grade students have the opportunity to sign up for our year-long CTE Wheel course that introduces and explores the various pathways and industries offered throughout Humble ISD towards graduation and future success. Our unique classroom experience is project-based and personalized, geared towards inspiring and ensuring individual success amongst our students while connecting their actual interests with real-world possibilities. We bring in guest speakers, professionals from our community in some industries, and we visit with some high school students in these actual programs, and they present their experiences to our kids. Our team has created a modified curriculum that personalizes, guides, connects, supports whatever our kids like and are skilled at with where they could potentially go in their futures in Humble ISD and beyond. Students in our course are presented with these hands-on opportunities. They explore, they problem solve, they work in simulated real-world activities, and they do things such as have exposure and experience with video production, kitchen safety, being travel agents planning trips, introductions to CPR, egg grading, swine ear notching, Shark Tank simulated experiences, and so much more. We appreciate the opportunity that you have gifted us with to reach all of our sixth graders to help fill those gaps for them, making their interests a reality in their future.
Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate it. So you saw just a couple of pictures. I did want to just make a note as well. We brought some of our toys. I don't know. It's not toys, but I call it that because that's what the kids call them. The kids don't know that we're teaching them at the same time. But they, again, are getting some amazing experiences. If you're familiar or even can think back, when you went into sixth grade, it was, I want to be a vet, a doctor, or an engineer. And those are great things, and we want kids to have those goals. We just want to help them hone those goals a little bit, help them identify, okay, what kind of doctor or what kind of engineer or what other options are out there? What if you don't like blood or those kinds of things? What are your other goals or other things that might come about? And so we've really tried to shape middle school to be that honing of choices. We want choices for our students in Humble ISD, and that's one of the things that I'm most proud of about CTE. But I want to help inform those choices for our students. And middle school is that perfect time because they're really figuring out who they are and what they want to become. And so we've even kind of stacked, or not stacked, but patterned our classes after that. So with the beginning of the middle school wheel all the way to what we do with our high school level courses that we've now brought down to the 9th grade. And there is a lot. If you compare to what we have versus what other districts have in middle school, we are leaps and bounds beyond. I'm very, very proud of that because, again, it's that crucial time where students are making choices and decisions. And so we've tried really hard now that CTE has the opportunity to rub shoulders with our amazing counseling department. We've tried really hard to kind of merge those two and provide opportunities where these informed choices that are happening in the classroom translate then into counseling. So I'll let Melissa talk about that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second here before I get to Ms. Jolly as well. Our K2 team kind of touched on this. We've been doing personalized counseling for 3-4 years now in Humble ISD. So it's time to do something with that information, not just have the counselor hold it all themselves. So they've been working very closely, getting the information to the classroom teachers so that the classroom teachers can make informed decisions on their lessons, on their activities, meeting those individual needs with those students based off of what they're learning. But what Riverwood did year one, it was a little unexpected but amazing, and we're replicating it everywhere, was they did it the other direction. So the CTE wheel teachers started working with the counselor so that she had information in their one-on-one meetings to prepare them for their courses as well. So I'm going to let Ms. Jolly talk a little bit about that. I'm going to give you this because I know you've got the other slides you're going to go through. So just push this that one.
Okay. Good morning. So it was great to see. Last year I was the 6th grade counselor, and the first year that we required all of our students to take the CTE wheel to be exposed to these courses. And so we worked to develop a pre-test and a post-test because it really changed our conversations in our personalized counseling meeting. As we started to ask the kids and talk to them about what their future plans were, what their interests were, we found, they'd be in the criminal justice unit, and all of a sudden they're talking about being an attorney or being a judge, right? And then they're in the health science unit, and they're coming in talking about a variety of different things, not just a doctor or a nurse, but other professions, very specific things, right? So it was interesting to go through the class and visit my students last year and watching them during the cosmetology unit, braiding hair on actual mannequins, right? So it really did begin to change our conversations with kids about those decisions. We also incorporate through our Navient system that we use with kids. This is one of my slides from our second 9 weeks decision-making guidance lesson, and it says, don't go spread it around, but on the really tough ones, I go with eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So our kids, we started with that and a really funny clip from Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory, trying to decide between an Xbox and a PS4, and the kids loved it, and it was our decision-making lesson. And what we want kids to do is start making decisions for themselves. We talk about how they're all wired uniquely and differently, and we don't want them taking classes just because their friend said it was good. And we talk about how I have kids sit down who take the engineering and tech elective and love it and are like, this is where I'm supposed to be, the AutoCAD and the drafting, this is so cool. And then they tell their friend, and their friend is not wired in that area at all. And so they go and take the class and they're like, gosh, I don't like this at all. The 16th scale, and I'm confused. I don't like fractions in math. This is not for me at all, right? So we want kids making decisions for themselves. So one way we're also doing that at Riverwood is using the Naviance to have them take Holland personality test in each grade. So in that second 9 weeks decision making, we are having kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th take a different personality inventory. It's based on the Holland personality assessment to help them see sort of just more information about themselves, right? Like what are your natural bents and talents? What kind of careers really do interest you? We ask them to be very honest in their surveys. They spend about 10 minutes taking them, and then we allow them a lot of time to spend in Naviance exploring some of those careers. They can go into each of if they come with artistic or enterprising, and they'll have a score in that area, and we'll ask them, go through, explore the careers. Naviance has amazing features where they can actually watch videos, Road Trip Nation, where they see people in those careers, and heart and like some of the ones that they find interesting. This is happening in 6th, 7th, and then 8th grade as they choose their endorsement and make those decisions. So it's just been really good for our kids to know more about themselves and, make decisions that are best for them.
I want to thank her for that. They really have been working hard with the kids to find as many different ways of getting to know them. Yes, do we want to clap for Amy? Because they were great too. Thank you. All of them, I think what is really unique is that we say, and it's true, our counselors are the glue in this. So because our departments are now together, they've had far more opportunities to partner with each other, to work with the counselors, have access and working how we can meet the kids individually. And I think that's been the best part of this, is us individually getting each kid's goals, what they want to do, and helping them become the advocates as they plan that out, rather than just watching the world happen to them. And we would love to take any questions.
Wow. Well, I'll just say for me, I have a comment. I mean, I'm truly impressed with all of the things and the entire vertical, horizontal alignment. And I, as a mom of 4 and the baby is a 12th grader even, he didn't get some of these things, but I definitely see how this could help. I was the will, trying to expose them to things, but not all parents will take the time to do that, and it should be happening at school, right? So totally impressed with all 3 sections and what we're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I forgot to mention, next month we're highlighting CCMR, so you're going to hear a lot more about the high school components of this next month, because that's going to tie in with what we're doing. So the kids, hopefully, the ones that are starting young and going to get this all the way through 12th grade, will see it a little differently. But even the ones that are just coming into this, like you said, I have an 11th grader as well who didn't get all this. They're getting parts of it now through it still. We're making sure every kid has exposure to some level as we work our way through.
So this is what we wanted, though, right?
Yeah.
And we're seeing it all come to fruition.
My comment was going to be, when we hired Dr. Fagan, we were looking for someone that was going to be a visionary and change the way we do business. And from the very beginning, now she'll argue with me. I try to be patient, but we weren't real patient in the beginning. We wanted the Titanic turned around and not sink. But she asked us to be patient because it is a work in progress. And really to see the individualized learning, and as I mentioned at the last breakfast, my daughter really has benefited from this as a sophomore. And I've known Amy for a long time, and I like to see the excitement and how we've got buy-in from all levels of this. And then when we pull it together and we have our meeting, our board meeting, where we see the actual data points where all kids are improving. You know, you can't, when you make a statement as a board that we're not going to put emphasis on a singular test, we're going to put it on the whole child, you're really taking a risk, because the newspapers and the media are going to focus on a TEA A to F rating, or they're going to focus on a SAT score, they're going to focus on a STAR test, or whatever the case is. But when we can showcase every student is getting exposure to areas that they've never seen before, never been exposed to before, and then we can back that up with student progress. This is not only visionary, it's epic, and it's something that most school districts do not give their students. And this is something that our community needs to understand, and once they understand it, they will embrace it, those that haven't already. And I'm excited that my daughter is getting to experience it here on the tail end. She was in middle school when we first rolled out the wheel, but she wasn't in the wheel, you know, that kind of thing. So this is what we've been working towards for several years, and it's just another step in the process, so thank y'all. The one thing is, we've always asked Dr. Fagan, make sure you have the right people on the bus, and I think we do. So thank y'all.
Thank you. And just a fun story for some of our high schoolers in Dr. Fagan's student advisory, they are upset that they didn't get the wheel as well. They have, because they created it, like they came up with the idea and they didn't get it. But several of them have come back and told us they're learning from their younger siblings through it, and they're watching the tweets. So that's the other thing I was going to say. If you aren't following our CTE wheel teachers and our counselors, their tweets are amazing, and you'll see so many videos of the kids doing this. But that is some feedback, at least the student advisory said they're learning from their younger siblings.
No, but we can't thank you enough for giving our students different pathways and the opportunity to learn in such a way, because so many kids, and we've talked, and that was one of the things, like Mr. Sitton said, from the very beginning, and we did pressure her hugely. Hugely. I don't know how she did it, but long story short, though, over the last 7 years, we've seen such growth, and it is so good, because I had one graduate last year from AHS, but now she was that person that she's going to, and she's already, because she was able to get a little bit, and she's going into technology, but she didn't necessarily need to go the college route. She's going a technical route, and she's happy as a lark. And the thing about it is, we have so many different kids, and as we know in today's society, there are so many different pathways, because I look at tiny homes and our kids that are getting so much in construction trades. And I mean, I hear my son say to his daughter, who's in all AP classes, you know, I kind of wish you'd gone this way, because you could have owned your, you know, you still can do it. There's nothing wrong with a girl owning a construction company. That's right. So I mean, but it's very interesting, and truly, I can't thank you enough for going as far as you've gone.
I want to, can I?
Yes.
You're right. I want to piggyback. I talk too much. I know.
No, you don't.
I want to piggyback on something she said and add something to it, though. She brought up tiny homes. And I know everyone up here has been to one of the dedications of the tiny homes, or multiple dedications. And what I get out of that is more than the construction experience.
Oh no, there's so much.
It's the emotional road and pathway that those kids go through. And when they're talking about meeting the veteran on the front end. And they're talking about designing a home for that specific veteran and then handing those keys over. The emotional experience that that student and that group of students get is totally 100% priceless, in addition to the trade that they're learning at the same time. And that's educating the whole child.
Yes.
One of the things, a few weeks ago, just as we came back and had an in-service day, we had CTE teachers sitting with some of our counselors as well, just learning a little bit about some of the mental health aspects of school. And myself, I'm still learning this, and I think we're all learning it post-COVID, but there is a intangible element of school and experiences like tiny homes that connects the kids deeper to emotional experiences like that is so healthy for them. And I think tiny homes is just that perfect example of what that looks like and what that can do for an individual and shaping them into something that none of us thought was possible, but now we can see this is what we want to do for our kids in high school. So it is amazing experience.
Well, and you'll hear it in a lot of it, like the kids that are doing the automotive tech. I mean, they're exceptional. The health tech, I mean, the pharmacy techs. When you said 41 different, I mean, it is phenomenal when these kids walk out. Phenomenal when you hear them talk about their future, their future. I mean, they have, not that it implants it in concrete, but it's like they truly have set their goals and it's obtainable for them. And so I can't thank you enough. It's
I want to brag on something Larkin and Ty have worked on together that he mentioned, and Tong has done this as well, is really working on the mental health piece with our teachers, because it's not just an isolated thing that we're working on individually with the counselors, but working with the teachers. They're talking about mental health, they're connecting it in the classroom, but they're also working with the kids, because 41 pathways is a lot, so that the teachers can help the kids plan out as well, and we're all on the same conversation. It's not isolated anymore.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for being here today, and it just, not only are you doing the work, but you're making the work fun for children. So
It's fun for us too.
Well, we have to say it's engaging.
Toys and fun. Yeah.
I'll just say,
Toys and learning.
If you can get a child to want to get out of bed and run to school, you've won, right? And I think this great morning, and thank you everybody for being here.
Yeah.
Great
I really want to
presentation.
thank our campus people for coming out and doing this, because we told them they're the authentic voice. We wanted to make sure you were hearing from them what's really happening. So thank you guys for being here with us today.
Say it again.
Where are we moving for AI?
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, the time is 8:15 a.m. This meeting is now adjourned.
Great.